Hey guys, welcome back. Now, in today's video, I decided to react to an old YouTuber I have neglected many years ago, or an old YouTuber that I haven't really watched for a while. Well, YouTubers, whatever these guys are, Babbletop. Basically, it's a YouTube channel describing about fast food, or just food in general. And this one is about 10 worst failed fast food chain restaurants that no one misses. Part 3. Because clearly I missed part 1. This is just like the first thing I saw, and I was like, okay, let's watch it. Clearly I said to myself, let's neglect part 1 and move on to part 3. Anyway, let's just start.
I'm not cooking for all those guys. You can just take them to Gino's.
Why do some restaurant franchises thrive and others fizzle out? Well, once again, we're taking a look into the greasy secrets and spicy scandals behind these fallen fast food kingdoms. Here are 10 of the worst failed fast food chain restaurants that no one misses, Part 3.
You know Gino's Sparkles. The place, the food, and the people, too.
All Star
What the freak is Geno's? I've never heard of Geno's in my life. And I haven't heard of All Star Cafe.
Cafe.
There's a place in New
Official.
York owned by the biggest sports stars around.
A sports lover's dream, this chain of sports-themed restaurants
What the freak? How many TVs are in here? Dang. I would just wanted to get my stuff and go. I just wanted to get my food and go. Sheesh, even when you walk in, there's just giant screen playing different games. And there are still TVs everywhere else. What the?
Restaurants was the brainchild of Planet Hollywood, and it was as star-studded as it gets. They had sports legends like Wayne Gretzky, Joe Montana, and Shaquille O'Neal backing them up, promising a dining experience that would be a slam dunk. As you stepped through those doors, it was like entering a sports fanatic's haven. The decor was over the top, with sports memorabilia adorning every available inch of wall space. Heck, they even had booths shaped like baseball gloves. Talk about getting into the theme.
Sports.
And of course,
I'm
there
not
were
supposed to
big
sit down
screen
normally
TVs
then.
everywhere, ensuring you didn't miss a moment of the game.
What if I want to watch something else? Do I leave? But what if I still like this food? Do I just get the food and go? Yeah, duh. Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
But it wasn't just about the ambiance, it was about the food. The official All-Star Cafe served up what they called stadium cuisine. Think
What?
hearty burgers, loaded nachos, and wings that could make your taste buds do a touchdown dance. And if you were a sports merch
Seriously?
collector, you were in luck because they had professional sports merchandise and souvenirs galore. Now, here's the kicker. While the official All-Star Cafe was a grand slam for tourists looking for a unique dining experience, it wasn't exactly great for repeat business. Most patrons would swing by while on vacation, check it off their must-see list, and never return. It was the kind of place
Dang.
where once was enough, and that's not a winning strategy for a restaurant.
Coming up after the break, we'll have highlights of the playoff game between the
Streaking, unrelated.
Happy Chef.
You like it?
What the freak is Happy Chef?
The story of Happy Chef began in
Ah. I can understand why people don't go here anymore. Because of this guy.
1963.
Uh,
When three brothers decided to embark on a delicious adventure. Their first location opened its doors, and from there, it was like a culinary wildfire that spread throughout the Midwest. With its iconic giant Happy Chef statue welcoming patrons with a cheerful wave, the restaurant quickly became a beloved fixture in the region. It wasn't
Dude,
just
I see
about
that guy is
breakfast, it
looking-
was about
I see that
serving
guy is
breakfast
weird looking.
all day long. A promise that many
Yeah, I would go to Happy Chef just for that, okay? Not because of that chef guy outside. He looks weird. He looks weird, ain't gonna lie. It's because I can have breakfast forever.
a food lover found irresistible.
No freaking way. They had breakfast for dinner.
However, as the 80s dawned, consumer taste took a turn towards places offering more than just great food. They craved restaurants with a side of alcohol and multiple televisions to catch the latest game. Sadly, this
Guys, you know, people in the 80s are weird, and Well, then get better as time went by.
Shift in preferences didn't bode well for Happy Chef's many locations. Today, only the original Happy Chef outpost still stands, a beacon of nostalgia for those who remember the good old days. And
I'd probably
speaking of
still go.
nostalgia, the 36-foot-tall Happy Chef statue that once dispensed greetings and corny jokes had a bit of a rough patch in the early 2000s when its electronics gave out. But in 2018, a revival took place, and the Happy Chef got his voice back, once again spreading smiles and laughs to anyone who dropped by.
Yes, Chef.
Gino's Burgers.
He says
Well, at least we now know what Geno's is.
we're going to Gino's. We go to Gino's.
The first Gino's opened its doors in 1957, but it officially became Gino's in 1959 when the owners brought in Colts captain Gino Marchetti as a partner. And so, Gino's Burgers was born, bringing a touch of football flair to your burger adventure. They were
I don't watch football, so I probably wouldn't go, but
renowned for their hamburgers, and one that truly stole the show was the sirloiner. Imagine a burger made from a sirloin steak. That's next level
I've never heard
beefiness
of a
right there.
sirloin
But
steak.
that wasn't the only star in Gino's lineup. The Jumbo Gino bore a striking resemblance to the Whopper, delivering that classic flame-grilled goodness. And
Whopper, the fact that it's a square shape makes me think to myself, it's ripping off both McDonald's and McDonald's? What? It's ripping off both Burger King and Wendy's. That's it.
then there was the Gino Giant, a burger that was Big Mac's predecessor and
That one's a ripoff of McDonald's.
competitor. While Gino's was a household name in the Mid-Atlantic region, they ventured into
No, it wasn't.
uncharted
I've never heard
territory,
of Geno's in my life.
trying to conquer the Midwest.
Now you're practically a household name.
Unfortunately, those locations didn't last long, and the expansion into Massachusetts and Connecticut hit a bump. Why? Well, Gino Marchetti wasn't exactly a household name there, and people often confuse the franchise with the Papa Gino's pizza chain, which had a strong
Papa Gino's? What? That's just Papa John's in a ripoff. Yo.
foothold in Massachusetts. In 1982, the curtain fell on Gino's when the Marriott Corporation swooped in and acquired the chain. They decided to turn Gino's into something else entirely, namely the Roy Rogers Restaurants chain.
What the heck is Roy Rogers?
The final chapter saw the last Gino's, tucked away in Pasadena, Maryland, independently owned from Marriott, closing its doors in 1986.
I go for good food, and Howard can go for whatever he wants.
First time here? Well, become an official Babble Topper by taking a quick second to hit that subscribe button. Thanks.
No, female Bugs Bunny. Okay, let's be honest, I'm probably subscribed to this anyway, so...
Now, where were we? Oh, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Steak and ale.
Steak and Ale welcomes
What?
you back to the old
Steak
country
and
days.
ale?
All right, let's turn back the
Steak
clock
and
to the
ginger
swinging
ale?
60s when restaurant pioneer Norman Brinker decided to shake up the dining scene. In 1966, in the heart of Dallas, he unveiled Steak and Ale, an American chain of casual dining restaurants that set out to redefine the steakhouse experience. And boy, did it make a sizzling debut. The moment you stepped into a Steak and Ale restaurant, you were greeted by dimly lit Tudor-style dining rooms, setting the stage for an upscale meal that didn't break the bank. It was here that you could indulge in prime rib dreams, and the signature herb roasted prime rib was the crown jewel of the menu. But that's not all. The Kensington Club, New York Strip, filet mignon, Hawaiian chicken, and spicy grilled chicken pasta were just some of the tantalizing
heck's a
options
grilled-
that graced the menu.
Okay.
Sounds delicious.
What
Gonna be
set
like, what
Steak
the
and
heck's
Ale
a
apart
grilled
was its
chicken
attention
pasta?
to the finer
brain
details.
was
With
definitely
most
not
dinner
right.
entrees, you had the choice of an
Not on
unlimited
right.
salad bar that was a garden of delights or a soul-soothing bowl of soup. And let's not forget those free drink refills, a true delight for the parched diner. Plus, there was their irresistible honey wheat bread. By the late 80s, the chain had
I'll
swept
be honest, I'd probably only go there for the soup. Hopefully they got some grilled cheese, honey wheat bread, and some free drinks.
to a whopping 280 locations, only to face stiff competition from the many restaurants it had inspired. Steak and Ale tried to spice things up with an early evening menu offering lower prices, a free beverage, and even a dessert to sweeten the deal. But alas, competition grew even fiercer, and the brand that had once defined the casual dining steakhouse lost.
Come join us. It'll be like old times.
Chi-Chi's.
Right now, the incredible cheat.
I've heard of Chi-Chi's only thanks to this channel. And I think I'm pretty sure I passed a Chi-Chi's once.
Cheese has a special treat.
In 1975, as disco was grooving through the nation and bell-bottoms were all the rage, Minneapolis welcomed a newcomer to the culinary scene, Chi-Chi's restaurant. Max McGee, former Green Bay Packers wide receiver, and restaurateur Marno McDermott were the masterminds behind this Mexican-inspired endeavor. Minneapolis wasn't exactly a hub for Mexican cuisine, and these two visionaries saw an opportunity to spice up the dining landscape. Chi-Chi's was all about introducing the Midwest to the flavors of Sonoran food. Now, Sonora, a northwestern Mexican state, is known for its subtle, less spicy seasoning. They were like the friendly neighbor who invites you over for a casual fiesta.
Let's party!
None of my neighbors are like that. And if they were, I'd probably say no anyway, because I don't like going to these parties, even if it's just to see neighbors.
In 1986, the restaurant had sizzled its way to over 200 locations, not just in the Midwest, but beyond. Yet even with all its early success, Chi-Chi's faced some fierce competition as it ventured into different regions. New York, New England, Atlanta, Texas, New Mexico, and San Diego. They all had a taste of Chi-Chi's, but not all took to it. The late 80s and early 90s saw Chi-Chi's trimming down its locations, though it didn't give up the ghost just yet. But the turning point came in 2002 when they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, largely due to the rise of other casual dining giants like Olive Garden. However, the darkest cloud that cast a shadow over Chi-Chi's was a 2003 hepatitis outbreak. Contaminated green onions at a Pittsburgh area Chi-Chi's led to a harrowing hepatitis A outbreak, infecting over 600 people and tragically claiming 4 lives. It was a devastating blow from which the restaurant couldn't recover.
Anything your appetite desires, little muchacho.
Wags. The 70s and 80s, a time when Walgreens wasn't just your go-to pharmacy, but also a place where your taste buds could go on a dining adventure. Welcome
What? Walgreens? What the freak?
to Wags, the restaurant chain that may have slipped under your radar if you weren't a kid of that era. It was a time when 24-hour diners were all the rage. Wags was cut from the same cloth as the likes of Denny's, Shoney's, and Big Boy, offering inexpensive and comforting fare, perfect for late-night cravings or a hearty breakfast.
Give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
Now, you might be wondering how a pharmacy giant like Walgreens got into the restaurant game. Well, it all started with smaller in-store dining spots, but the concept caught fire, leading to the birth of freestanding Wags locations across the country. Whether you needed a stack of pancakes at dawn or a juicy burger at midnight, Wags had you covered around the clock. In 1988, the torch passed to the Marriott Corporation, who took over the Wags empire. But as the 90s rolled in, the winds of change were blowing, and Marriott decided to part ways with its restaurant business. Unfortunately, Wags didn't find a new owner to keep the grills sizzling, and by 1991, the last pancake had been flipped, the final burger had been served, and Wags became a relic of the past.
What is it?
A relic from a kinder past.
VIP.
I mean, freak, it was made by Walgreens. I'm sorry, Walgreens, but I don't think the restaurant business is yours. Really, I feel like Walgreens just needs to keep on with the pharmacy stuff. Because think about Walgreens making a restaurant today. I would have just been like, what?
VIPs.
Better to die a VIP.
Established in 1968 in Oregon, this West Coast dining haven quickly became a household name for anyone looking to satisfy their appetite. With more than 50 locations, VIPs rose to fame as the largest restaurant chain hailing from the picturesque state. VIPs was the epitome of what we now call casual dining. Although they were often referred to as coffee shops, their menu offerings went far beyond your morning brew.
Coffee, 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 coffee.
It was the place where the hungry could go anytime, day or night, and find a comforting meal that hit the spot. One of the hallmarks of VIPs were its strategic locations near bustling freeways, ensuring that weary travelers and local foodies alike could find easy solace in its booths and tables 24/7. From hearty breakfast options to late-night cravings, VIPs had it all. Yet the turning point came in 1982 when they sold 35 of their 53 locations to Denny's for a cool $12 million. It was a deal that seemed too good to pass up. And from there, VIPs slowly faded into the background, continuing to sell off their restaurants until by 1989, the last VIPs had been sold.
Okay,
sell
it all.
Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Guess what's cooking now? A Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Let's set the
What the heck's a Yankee Doodle Dandy?
stage for some burger nostalgia. It's December 1966, and the Preuss brothers, Chris and Bill, decided to make burger magic happen in Bensonville, Illinois. Thus, the Yankee Doodle House was born, later becoming the beloved Yankee Doodle Dandy restaurant.
Beloved?
The moment you
I'm
rolled up to a
questioning who
Yankee
came up with
Doodle
that
Dandy,
name.
you'd be met with a red, white, and blue motif that made you feel like you'd stepped into a patriotic paradise. And their slogan? Come on down where the good times are, Yankee Doodle Dandy. That's right, they were all about good times and great grub.
I did
TV
not read
ads?
this
You
slogan.
bet they had them, and they featured an attractive woman decked out in a 1776 Betsy Ross-style costume.
Why?
These commercials were as all-American as apple pie. The restaurant's design and menu were in
Apple
sync
pie's
with
not
other
from
burger
America.
giants of the time like Burger Chef, Burger
Yeah, I
King,
just have to
and
say it.
McDonald's.
Whatever.
Burgers, fries, and shakes, all the classic hits were on the
Just give me
menu.
the shake
But as
and
the
I'm
years
gonna
rolled
leave.
on, the winds
And
of
some
change
fries.
blew through the Burger Kingdom. The 80s marked the swan song for Yankee Doodle Dandy, and it faded into fast food history.
From Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Pumpernick.
It puts bread on the table.
What?
Rye or pumpernickel.
Pumpernick?
Created by Alfredo Lowenstein in
And
1974,
look at the logo. It's just copying Burger King.
Pumpernick swiftly became a household name in Argentina, leaving a lasting legacy that many locals still hold.
Freak. Is it either No, it's not copying Burger King. Burger King copied Pumpernick. They legit copied these guys.
Dear, considering it a true cult classic. The name itself was a nod to the German bread variety pumpernickel, and it was the epitome of Argentinian fast food. In 1975,
I mean, seriously, look at these logos. Hey, go look at Burger King's logo right now. You see this? Do you see this?
Pumpernick made history by becoming the nation's first ever franchise, igniting a whirlwind expansion that saw the brand quickly sprouting up all across the country. At its zenith, there were 70 restaurants under the Pumpernick banner, generating an annual revenue of a staggering $60 million.
It was a success.
Despite its initial success, Pumpernick faced challenges, with varying food quality due to issues like inconsistent management and standards. As larger American fast food chains like McDonald's and Burger King set up shop in Argentina in the late 80s, the competition became fierce. Pumpernick was even embroiled in a legal battle with Burger King over its logo and name, which ultimately led to the chain dropping the Nick and rebranding to Pumper. Unable to keep up with the heavyweight contenders, Pumpernick eventually filed for bankruptcy in early 1999, bringing the curtain down on an era of delectable Argentine fast food.
I declare
bankruptcy!
Wetson's.
What?
You can't change the past.
Wetson's story begins with Herbert Herb Wettinson, a man with a vision that was ignited.
Why didn't you call it Wettinson? This just makes me think to
on a
myself,
fateful
what?
road trip to San Bernardino, California. There, he stumbled upon the original
So let's be honest,
McDonald's hamburger
nothing sounds
drive-in
normal.
owned by the McDonald brothers. Having honed his restaurant skills while working in his father's eateries, Herb was captivated by the new concept of fast food that was taking shape. Wetson's made a name for itself with its legendary Big W burger, a mouth-watering
Big W? What is this, the Big Mac, but just different?
creation that quickly became a crowd favorite.
I'm gonna give it a oh, hey.
And it wasn't just the burgers that won over diners. Wetson's offered 15-cent burgers and 10-cent fries, making it an irresistible choice for those on a budget. Yet, as competition from national giants like McDonald's and Burger King heated up in the late 60s and early 70s, Wetson's found itself facing some tough hurdles. In 1975, they merged with Nathan's Famous, and 29 Wetson's locations shuttered their doors, marking the end of an era for the Wetson's brand.
I mean, it's the end of an era. I know.
These chains may be gone, but we're still taking orders, so
Same. Well, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. And comment and let me know how'd y'all like it. And if you've actually seen some of these restaurants before. And if you ever want more Babbletop, just let me know. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.